Hello guys, welcome to 2021 and welcome back to my channel. I have decided to start this year with a video that was requested. Today we're going to talk about wheels. I do appreciate the request and I do fully understand the question about the wheels. There are so many wheels available on the market right now, and if you keep on buying the wheels to try them out and then maybe not liking them, that becomes a bit expensive. So why not for someone like me who has a bit of experience with wheels and did try them out and actually has them, not to tell you what I know about them. I don't know everything, but at least something. So let's start with talking about the types of skateboards. So you can have yourself a normal street board where you don't require anything special, but something just a bit better or bigger than a normal push skateboard wheel. This is what you see in the front of you right now. However, you might decide and go for, let's say, an off-road board, and that's when you will need a bit of a bigger wheel. So number one, you've got street wheels, slicks, urethane. You've got mixed terrain wheels, urethane, like something like here. You also have full off-road Airfield wheels, like this one here. The main difference is with Airfield or AT wheel, you have an inner tube, like we used to have in the cars in all the days. So let's go through these wheels one by one. When it comes to urethane wheels, you got choice of sizes, colors, and most importantly, you got the choice of softness. The softness of the wheel is measured by the durometer value. This is the lettering, like you can see over here. This, for instance, is 85A. The higher is the number, the less flexible is the urethane on the wheel. What that gives you, the harder the material, the better is the roll, the less the wheel going to wear out on you. However, it's not as comfortable as something that has a higher durometer. So right in front of here you got Slick Revolution slicks. Same size, same absolutely everything but color, but one big difference, 85A and 78A. So this will be much softer, a bit more comfortable. However, they are too small, so rolling over obstacles is just a little bit more problematic, I would say, and the chance that the board will trip up on a high speed, on a higher bump, is quite high. You can always go just a bit bigger, like this, for instance. Stickies by Tramper, they are 90mm compared to the 52mm Slick Revolution right here, and the durometer is actually quite lower. If I'm not mistaken, these are 74A. However, I did use them quite a lot and they didn't seem to wear out too quick on me. By the way, quite a nice wheel. You can always go just a bit bigger, like something here, AVEC F1s. These are very, very nice wheels. These are 107mm, 74A. I really like this wheel. And by the way guys, some of these wheels, like for instance this AVEC 11, this have like a more of a silicone feel to the material they're using. So it is very, very, very bouncy. It does stick to the ground really, really well. You can carve really well on them. However, there was a small issue. It does lose bits. Well, at least mine did. So there is things you need to consider when you're choosing yourself a wheel. Higher durometer, higher number A, less wear out, better roll. However, they will be a bit harsh on the road. If you have a perfect tarmac, go for that. You can go something in between, or you can go something really nice and soft, and that will give you a nice perfect bounce and carve. One thing I have noticed that with bouncier wheels, like for instance the Evolve 97mm 76A, absolutely gorgeous wheels guys, love them, really, really do. But the bouncier the wheel becomes, the harder it is sometimes to cross, you know, them bumpy ends of the road, or especially on a footpaths. I always forget the name for them. It's for the people with poor sight to actually feel that the road comes to the end. So on these, if you go over them on speed, you're pretty much going to come off because they just jump way too much. But it's not a big deal. One thing to mention as well, guys, that all these wheels, they have different type of hub. This one here is an ABEC type, yeah? So when you're going to be using or choosing your wheel, make sure you get yourself the hub that will fit your pulleys. There are different types out there. Most common are the ABEC that you see right here, or the Kegel. That's the one with them kind of spikes and the holes in the hub that goes over and you tighten up the nut. So that's another thing to remember. If you're not sure how you're going to ride, and let's say you don't want to go full slick, and you don't want to go, let's say, I don't know, ABEC 11, too big and too bouncy, you can go for something in between. Well, actually, slightly larger. So what you see in the front of you right now are the mixed terrain, I call them, wheels. This here is by Slick Revolution. The reason for them to be called the mixed terrain, or that's the way I call them, is, as you can see, the shape of them does vary from a normal slick. The contact path, it's much smaller. It's right here, right in the middle. So this wheel can crawl over a bad surface much better. And for street slick like London, I do prefer using these wheels, especially the newer type, the one that is 78A, quite soft. They're gorgeous, quite good. However, some people saying that because of the smaller contact path, these wheels are not too good on a wet surface. Well, I don't recommend riding in the wet anyway. Any wheel can slip on you, and I have tried this before. So next step up from the rough stuff wheel are the foamies. Foamies are slightly larger. These are, if I'm not mistaken, 120 millimeters, and these are very strange design. You do look carefully, you can actually see the foam core inside the wheel. That makes the wheel very soft and bouncy, which is quite nice. Popular wheel on the market right now is pretty much exactly the same. It's called the Cloud Wheels. They had some issues with the hub itself cracking. I'm not sure if that was solved. I think it was. So this is pretty much what you can get out there urethane wise. So don't forget, you have different durometer. So the number on the wheel, always look at it. The lower is the number, the softer is the wheel. The higher is the number, the harder is the wheel. Also, one thing to remember, guys, when you swap the wheels out, the smaller is the wheel, if obviously you don't change your gearing, the smaller is the wheel, the more torque you get, but less top end. So for instance, if you have a board and you have used the 52mm wheels, and all of a sudden you're going to upgrade to 107, which is fine, what you're going to notice that your top speed will go up, but the torque will drop. Hopefully that makes sense. So what if you guys decided to go off-road or mixed terrain and feel just a bit more comfortable on the road? For something like this long board right here, you probably will go for 80 wheels. For starters, the 80 wheels are larger and they will give you more clearance for your gear drives and your belts. This is a space right here. And also it will give you the clearance for underneath your deck, especially if you're using the battery enclosure underneath and under the deck mounted battery itself. And when it comes to Airfield wheels for the skateboards, guys, that's a completely different world. You got so many different variations, from sizes of 6, 6.5, 7 to 8 inch. You get the 200 millimeters, you get the 250 millimeters, 10 inch. You can just get lost in looking for what you actually need. The main differences are, and this is probably what you should know, the rest you're gonna have to experience yourself, is when you choose the wheel, make sure that you don't go way too big and your motors or gear drives cannot handle it, because the gear ratio needs to be considered when you are choosing the wheel. Most manufacturers will tell you what is the biggest wheel the gear drives, for instance, or belt drives were meant to be used with. Second thing is the hubs. You can get all sorts of hubs. You can get the deep dish, you can get normal, you can get the MBSs, you can get aluminium, you can get all sorts of wheels. There's so many gorgeous wheels out there at the moment, guys. By Etox, by 3D Services, Tramper, they got the whole range of colors. You can customize everything you want for the hub itself. You can perfectly match your board to whatever you design you have in your mind. And this is absolutely gorgeous. You also need to remember that the hubs come with a different size of hole for the bearings. For instance, the Evolve got a smaller bearing than the MBS, for instance, or Tramper. This got to do with the size of the axle. So be careful when you wind them wheels and hubs. Make sure that they will fit your axle and your hanger. When it comes to threads, guys, you get different types of thread. The road, the mixed terrain, the carver, the off-road. You can get some proper aggressive off-road like the Tramper mud pluggers, all sorts. There is no indication on the wheel, on the tire itself, like you would have on the Urethane wheel, how soft it is. You just need to read on the manufacturer's website what compounds they're using for their tire. There are soft compound tires, and there are mid compounds, and also the hard compound. So what that means is, with the hard one, it won't wear out as fast, however it won't grip the ground as good. So it's entirely up to you. It all depends where you ride. Do you ride purely on the mud? Do you ride on the grass? Or do you go on road and then a little bit off-road? Like, let's say my Tsunami, it's not 100% off-road board, but she can go a bit on the dirt if needed to be. So you have to choose what you want and what you need, and just experience for yourself. So many choices, unbelievable. Obviously with Airfield tires, you get the issue of the punctures, and I have experienced them quite a few times already. You can break off the air valve. By the way, don't use them big fancy air valve caps. Trust me, I've lost 2 wheels during an event, and that was not pleasant. That I got a video, I'll leave it in the description below, take a look. I'll tell you in the video why. So that's it really. I know people using tire liners like the green slime or similar. I have used them as well. However, one of them actually cut through my inner tube. So it depends. Some people use the liquid, the green slime liquid. They squirt it inside the wheel, and that stops the leak if you get a puncture. Best off is having a wheel setup like this wheel here is from my little set that I carry with me in my backpack, which has the tools, the air pump, and the fully set up wheel, just in case I get a puncture. Bosh bosh, and off you go. So that's pretty much what I've got to say about the wheels. Just choose your size, choose your thread, try, experience, and yeah, see how you like it, see the top speed. Exactly the same is going to happen with the wheels, AT wheels, guys. Obviously, you understand. The larger is the wheel, the more top speed you get, the better clearance, the softer is the ride, and also you're going to lose a little bit of torque. Well, quite a bit of torque if you jump from 6.5, let's say, to 9. And the smaller, the more torque you will get. One thing you can do, and that's the benefit of the Airfield wheel and Airfield tire, is you can actually play around with the amount of air you put in it and how hard you pump it up. So for instance, if you pump this tire up here, what you're going to do is you're going to decrease the contact patch of the actual tire, like on a car. So you will roll much better, however grip will be just a bit worse. So if you go on a tarmac, you're racing someone on a good smooth surface and you want a bit more grip, deflate the tire just a bit. So what you do need to remember is always read the maximum pressure that this particular tire can be pumped up to. It's not just for the tire, it's also for the hub, because imagine how much pressure the hub is taking when you are bouncing about on these wheels. If the hub will break, you will lose the tire, you will go kaboom. This is it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I know it's not everything about the wheels, but it's a good starting point. Thank you for the suggestion. If you have any questions, please leave in the question in the comments below. I will always answer. There are many more videos on my channel. Take a look, guys. I got reviews of most of these wheels you saw today in the video. Take a look. If you cannot find something, ask me. Most importantly, let your wheels spin freely, build safely, ride safely. Really wish for 2021 to be much nicer year, so we can finally start going on the group rides, meet, and well, just have a more intense social life. All the best, and I'll catch you next Wednesday. Bye.